Welcome to the Game Changer 00100 show. I'm your host, Game Changer. And I was listening to Crystal Carrison again, and I decided to make a response video again. And trust me, Crystal, I can do this every day. It really don't have to stop because you are. I took this one personal. Because, well, actually, I'll play the video and I'll explain to y'all why I took this one as a personal attack to me, because it comes up pretty early in the video. But this video that she did is entitled, "Who Really Dies Alone, Men or Women?" And something in this video really got me, because this is her response to Kevin Samuels once again saying you'll die alone. Basically, she's been on this tirade against Kevin Samuels, and this isn't me championing for him, but it's me understanding why she's doing this. First of all, it's one of two reasons, and this is one of the many things that put her on my radar recently. It's one of two reasons. One, because she's no longer married, or they're having severe trouble in her marriage. Something is up in the Carrison house, or two, she plans on leaving the guy and she wants to explore her options after the fact. And that's the only reason why these women who are married, really would care about this. Like, she's not reaching out to this girl trying to get her to swirl or anything like that. No, Crystal Carrison is just trying to convince herself and others that you can still get it after a certain age and a certain amount of kids. So she's really attacking Kevin on this point. She's really attacking Kevin on this whole die alone thing. Now, dying alone doesn't, when Kevin said it, it's obvious that she probably isn't going to die alone, because she has a son, and presumably she'll have grandkids and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But basically what it means is dying unmarried and unwidowed. That's what he means when he says dying alone, dying unmarried and unwidowed. Most women, even those who marry, die alone anyway, because women outlive men. So their husband died first and then they later die by themselves. Either way, Kevin, when people say die alone, they have a very, specific meaning. They're not talking about all of your adopted kids or all of the kids that you have from different baby daddies and stuff like that. They're talking about if you want to avoid your goal, avoid the goal of dying a single woman, then you should heed this advice. So she had a very interesting response video that I'm going to play. And first let me play it and I'll stop it and I'll tell you why I took this personal.
Pink pill is a pink pill now. Put your piggies up now. Hey, it's Pinky. You're on the Pink Pill YouTube channel.
Ah, crap.
Just really quickly, dispel a common narrative that we've been hearing in the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 months about who dies alone, who is going to die.
See, that's not a common narrative. Let's stop right there. That's not, who's going to die alone is not a common narrative. Because when men say to women, you'll die alone if you continue down this path, we don't say that we won't die alone too. No one is ever saying that. Like, there isn't, like, if you have 100 women and 100 men and 50 women die alone, then chances are 50 men are going to die alone too. Like, no one is saying that the men won't. They're just saying that the women are. Because the men are pretty much aware of this. and there's less fear towards it because, let's face it, men die every day. We die in war. We die, over, prison knife fights and crap like that. Like, it's not really the same thing with a man. We don't have the same fear towards death or loneliness that a woman has. We're aware of these things. We just said that you were. We didn't say that men weren't.
Surrounded by cats and perhaps being eaten by said cats.
And that's what pissed me off, because that's my signature thing. What's going on, Triple? When I say you're going to die alone and be eaten by cats, that's my tag. Like I've been saying that, from the beginning. I was the one who discovered that cats do eat their owners after the owners have passed. So yeah, she's been listening and she's been taking my shit. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. Let's continue.
2021 is going to be the year of clarity, you guys. You would think that 2020 was the year of perfect vision. It wasn't. We didn't see anything coming in 2020 that came in 2020. But 2021 is the year of goop.
I don't think your husband's seen anything coming in 2020 either. Yeah. All right, let's continue.
I'm just going to claim it. 2021 is the year of clarity and Google. All hail Google. Okay?
Okay.
Now, before I start, I want to say this. I said this in my last video with David West, and I'll say this again.
Okay.
For the trolls who will come in and say, but what about, I will present to you a story that is more clear.
So basically, if anybody has a counter narrative, then she has a remedy for that. It doesn't matter if what they say is true or factual in any way. I want you to interrupt them with this. What she's about to suggest is the equivalent to putting your fingers in your ear and saying, la, 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 la. This is basically her way of saying, do not listen to counter narratives.
Clear this time because now I have full recollection of it. My youngest daughter, who is 11 now, she was the youngest who, she was the oldest one who stopped believing in like Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. There was one time that me and my husband were derelict in our duties, in our Tooth Fairy duties, when she lost a tooth. We usually go into her room.
Okay, I want to point out that she is like doing too much when she says me and my husband. Me and my husband were derelict in our duties. Like, really? It takes two of y'all to put money under a pillow and take a tooth? Like, one of you grabbed the tooth and the other one put the bill underneath the pillow? Like, you're doing too much.
Because she puts her tooth in a little plastic bag. We go into her room while she's sleeping. We gingerly take the tooth out of the plastic bag and replace it with money. And, you know, she always would wake up excited. Mommy, Daddy, the tooth fairy came and I got $5 for my tooth. Mm-hmm. Well, one day she lost a tooth. We overslept. We forgot to. She woke up and she was like, Mommy, the tooth fairy forgot to come. And
now, a normal person would just say, we'll try again. Maybe they'll come back tomorrow.
We decided we had to just tell her. We said, honey, we sat down with her and we said, baby, the tooth fairy is Mommy and Daddy. Okay. We have, for years, since you started losing your teeth, we have put that money in there and taken your teeth? And she looked at me, with the wide eyes of a young child, and the look on her face, the look on a child's face when their hopes and dreams have been smashed. She said to me, "But if the tooth fairy isn't real, what else isn't real? What else isn't real?" So what I want you to do, we're going to play a game like we did yesterday. When they come in with their, but what about that is, and that's because the cognitive dissonance that one faces when they are presented with contrary information to what they believe, they react in several different ways. And so what we're going to do is every time we see that, we are going to reply with emojis of fairies, bunnies, Santa Claus, and unicorns. And we're going to say, what else isn't real?
Mm-hmm.
What else isn't real?
Your hair isn't real. Your face isn't real. Many other things on you is probably not real. Just saying, what else isn't real?
Okay, so now let's go on. Oh, by the way, I have an announcement for all of you guys who are Pink Pill students. I have a surprise treat for you today.
This is how she sees her audience. I want y'all to point out that she said to all of you guys. But this is supposed to be the pinky and the prettiest and the most feminine women that swirl and blah blah blah. To all you guys out there, what say you men? Is what she sounds like. She might as well say that. To all of you guys out there. She didn't say ladies. To all you girls out there. To all the ladies in the house, to all the ladies in the place with smiling grace. She didn't come like that. To all you guys out there, that is how she sounds.
At 4:00 Pacific time, we are going to have a conflict resolution seminar, how to resolve conflict the Pink Pill way. Be on the lookout in your emails for the sign-in information for that. That's going to happen at 4 p.m. today, Pacific time. All right, so I'm going to show you how easy it is.
Well, since we're giving out announcements, I am doing movie night tonight. Here, let me look for the StreamYard and put it out there. It is $5 in the form of Cash App, and it is $7.15, of which I will get $5 in the form of a super chat or a super sticker. And you are welcome to come. I will put the StreamYard link in the chat room. It is for the movie Knock Knock. All right. Hope to see you there.
Is to check things. So there's this thing, it's called Google.
Okay. Please tell me more about Google.
There's a lot of stuff that's being promulgated online that simple Google searches will shut down.
Like what?
And for you ladies who are really worried about dying alone because somebody online told you that you will die alone.
Okay. For all you ladies who are worried about dying alone because somebody online told you that you would die alone, let's see what she has to say about that.
If you don't accept X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I want to introduce to you this really cool tool. And,
okay.
I'm going to just, in real time, I'm going to type in the question. Who is more likely to die alone, men or women?
Excuse me? Excuse me? I think the ladies who are worried about dying alone aren't really asking, what's going on, Chantel? The ladies who are dying alone aren't really asking who's going to die alone, men or women. They're asking if I'm going to die alone. Basically, what she's Googling, who's more likely to die alone, men or women, is her way of saying it's okay if I die alone as long as the men die along with me. This is the message that she wants to send to all of her audience. See, by Googling this, they're not looking for comfort on if they die alone. What she's looking for comfort in is if I die alone with someone. Meaning, if I'm dying alone here, I take comfort in knowing that there's a man dying alone over there. You see how sick this chick is? You see how really sick this chick is? She wants them to take comfort in, like, I don't have a shout out to Chantel. I don't have a name to put as an emergency contact, but it's okay because there are more men out there without names to put on their emergency contacts. Put it like this. Does knowing if a man's situation is worse make yours better? That's something that she really should ask her audience, and that's something that her audience should ask her. But they're so full of hate that they only want to know if somebody else is suffering worse than them. And I can't stand people like that. Like, I really don't. You ever have a bad day and then somebody says, well, somebody's starving in Africa? It's like, what? Is that supposed to make me feel better? I once complained about no shoes, but then I met a man with no feet. It's like, first of all, I still don't have no shoes. I still don't have any shoes. And no feet. Why would like knowing that he has no feet make me feel better about me not having shoes? But that's what she's hoping for. That's what this whole video is about. This chick is sick. This chick is sick. So this video is basically saying, when you die alone, know that somewhere there is a man dying alone too. Nobody said it wasn't. And instead of her saying you should get together and die with that man, nope. What does she say? They're dying alone too. Who's more likely to die alone, men or women? You are stupid. You are stupid. Gosh. Volcanoes. You see, here's the thing. And I told y'all this before. I wish that there still exist tribes that sacrifice people to volcanoes for this reason. Like, somewhere there is an active volcano and there is a god that determines when that volcano erupts. And there is a village who's like looking at the volcano, hoping that the god doesn't smite them. And every now and again they need a sacrifice. Why not this chick? Why not this chick? You would save the villagers from an eruption and appease everybody. You're just awful. Let's continue.
Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, look. Look at.
Okay, I'm gonna look up the thing that she just found. Hold on. Okay, actually, I'm gonna show y'all the screen. I'm gonna show y'all the screen to see what she's come up with, because I want to point something out to y'all. Yeah, exactly, Chantel, as if it's a competition. Whoever has the least amount of people that die alone win. It's like, what's your prize in that? You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. Now, Let me remove Chantel's pretty picture and say, look at the purple. The purple is what she already has clicked. In a recent study, what's that? Crabdale also considered the connection between having children and parent mortality. He found that both men and women without children have decisively higher mortality rates than people with children. On average, a woman without children has a 70% higher mortality than a woman with 2 children. Well, there you have it. Let's see if she reads that. Here, let me stop the screen share.
Headline. In a recent study,
okay, she does.
Crabdale also considered the connection between having children and parent mortality. He found that both men and women without children were decidedly higher mortality rates than people with children. On average, a woman without a child had a 70% higher mortality than women with 2 children. So it says dramatic increase in mortality among the unmarried. So let's click on this.
Yes, let's click on it. And while she's clicking on that, click on the like button, please. All right. So she's scrolling through all the important stuff. But of course, I'm not going to scroll through the important stuff.
Mortality for unmarried men over 50 today is almost twice.
Now, I want to point out what she's reading. Share screen. Okay, so she scrolled through like 3/4 of the page to get to this part, right? To get to this one sentence. The mortality of unmarried men over 50 today is almost twice as high every year, as it is for married men of exactly the same age. So she's going to read you that part. Do you think that she is honest and forthcoming enough to read the part right underneath it? Unmarried women have at least 1.7 times the mortality rate of married women of the same age. Meaning also that you almost have, it means also that you have almost twice the mortality rate as well. You think she's going to read that? Now, keep in mind, the link was purple, meaning that she already clicked this ad before. So she clicked this ad and she knew exactly where to go to. She's seen this, but do you think that she's going to tell her audience? Do you think that she's going to tell her audience that unmarried women as well has 1.7 times the mortality rate of married women the same age? Do any of y'all think that she's going to mention that? Do you think that she's going to be honest and straightforward and forthcoming and say, unto the women, if you don't take your fat ass to the gym, you are more likely to die. If you don't get a sandwich, you are more likely to die. If you don't suck a penis, you are more likely to die. Do you think she's going to say that? Well, let's have a listen, shall we?
This is high every year, as it is for married men of exactly the same age.
So she didn't say that. She did say, as she scrolled past it, as she scrolled past that one thing, look at this. Let me show you. So right here, remember the cursor was up here. And then she scrolled down and now the cursor's down here. And she was like, let's not read this, but it's nothing to see here, people. but we're the ones on some tooth fairy stuff? You told your daughter the truth about the tooth fairy and watched her cry, but you wouldn't tell your panelist this truth? Really? But let's continue. And keep in mind, I'm not even in a race of who dies more. She is. I think that she feels that if men die more, women don't, or if men die alone more, women don't die alone. Nobody ever said that men don't die alone more or less. We're just saying that you will if you're average at best, hoping for six figures.
This is a study about who is more likely to die.
Yeah, I was going to get into that, but yeah.
Married or unmarried people. Not exactly what we were looking for. So
not exactly what we were looking for. If it's not exactly what you were looking for, why did you click on it? Honestly, if it wasn't exactly what you were looking for, why did you click on it? And twice, and then scroll to the exact point. Oh, because you feel it proves your narrative. Okay, got you. All right.
Let's keep looking. Oh, look at this. Living alone is a risk factor for mortality in men, but not women.
Oh, I gotta read this this study. It's so to the point. Like something like this is so specific. It's just so specific that I have to read it. Hold on one moment. All right.
Living alone is a risk factor for mortality in men, but not women from the general population. Oh, look, this is an actual study.
An actual study?
Scientific study.
Well, let's read the whole thing. Let's read the whole thing of this actual scientific study. Because you're a scientist, right? But let's study your study. Okay, quick screen share. This is her scientific study. The scientific study. Okay, let's listen to this scientific study. Stop screen share. Let's have a listen.
You guys don't forget those fairies, bunnies, Santas, and unicorns.
I won't forget.
Background. During the past decades, a recent trend of living alone can be observed in the population, especially in urban areas. Living alone is considered a psychosocial risk factor. We studied the relationship between living alone, cardiovascular risk factors, and mortality. So we're not going to go into the methods, but we'll just go to the...
Okay, stop right there. Something is a little fishy about this study, because in the background it said during the past... Oh, never mind. I thought it said decade, but it said decades. Never mind. Okay. All right, let's continue.
Result. Altogether, 260 men, 7%, and 6...
Wait. Why does she skip the methods and just go straight to the results? Let's go back a little bit. And maybe she mentioned the methods and I was too busy talking to catch it. Let's see.
Living alone, cardiovascular risk factors, and mortality. So we're not going to go into the methods, but we'll just...
Oh, no, she just said we're not going to go into the methods. But we are going to go into the methods of the study because, we're not out to deceive people. So we are going to go into the methods of the study. Let's share the screen. Let's share the screen, classy young man with a PhD. All right, so okay, so we analyzed data from the population based in, let's see, Monica/Cora cohort study, including 3,596 men. So more men than women, more men than women, more men than women, more men than women, and 3,420 women. Of at least one of three surveyed carried out, but between, women of at least one of three surveys carried out between 1984 and 1995. That is a long time span. Anyway, in the region of, what's that, Augsburg? So, this study was conducted in a place in Germany that I've never heard of, and I'm probably mispronouncing, where the marital culture is completely different and the relationship culture is completely different. And marriage being different would affect this group of people, of roughly 7,000 people, far different than it would affect us. However, this is the scientific study that she's going to present to Americans, because it's scientific. Okay, no wonder you skipped this part. It's not like you had something to hide. They were between 45 and 74 years old. Okay, so is it possible that, some of the men were older than the women? Like, do you have the average age for both the men and the women? Okay, well, let's see. Old and were followed up until, December 31st, 2002. And you could tell that this is European because they put the day before the month, unlike here where we put the month before the day. Let's see. During follow-ups, 811 men and 388 women died. So more men than women died. Okay. Cox populational hazard analyst was used to examine the association between living alone and mortality. Okay. Now we can get into what she has to say about the results. Let's listen.
Go to the result.
Okay, let's go to the results.
Altogether, 260 men, 7%, and 620 women, 18%, were living alone at baseline. Men who lived alone were less well educated, had fewer children and friends, and they smoked significantly more than other men.
Okay. All right. I'll go into that. So I guess they have, and which makes sense because, like, women are far less likely to marry a 600-pound guy. I'm pretty sure that's true in Germany as well. So if that's the case, then yeah, I wouldn't doubt that they die sooner, not to mention that men die sooner. But let's look at the numbers for a second. Because this is a scientific study, right? Now, if you will remember from above, it said 811 men have died. And 260 men were living alone. Huh. and 620 women were living alone. Now, more than twice the men died than women, but far fewer men were living alone. Is that something that you should tell your peoples? Is that something that your people should know? Now, keep in mind that I don't think actually it couldn't be. So this isn't how many of the men that were living alone died. They're just saying that more women were living alone than men, a significant amount more. And then it goes into the less educated, but it's not really saying like, and even though it's very weird that you're trying to determine who dies more alone, it's really not saying anything like that at all.
Women living alone were also significantly more often current smokers and had less children and friends, but they were more often better educated than cohabitating women. The latter group showed a higher proportion of obese and hypersensitive women. Men living alone had a twofold risk to die after multivariable adjustments. Conclusion: living alone is an independent risk factor for mortality in men. It is unclear whether living alone causes an increased mortality or whether
Okay, so it did say something on that. It doesn't show the numbers for it, but it does say something.
Predisposition for increased mortality is responsible for men living alone.
Okay. This is annoying. If there, okay, 100% of people die. Of this population, right? You have 260 men who live alone, and you have 620 women who live alone. 100% of these women and men will die, meaning that 260 men will die alone in this place in Germany, and 620 women will die alone in this place in Germany. Yes, that is going to happen. Yes, it is. Now, at the time of the survey, more men died alone than women because men die sooner. The data was collected. They did the dead count in 2002, but the women are, I'm sure, dead by now. Alone. But once again, that's not even my sick competition. I'm not here to determine who's going to die the most alone. That's her sick, proposition. That's the sick game that she's playing. All I am here to say is that you will die alone. And if you was one of the women surveyed in Germany at this time, 620 of you did. I don't know how y'all feel about cats there. I truly don't. However, you're dead now and the cats ate you. If you had to listen to Kevin Samuels or somebody else, you would have gotten with the 260 men that are still alive. So you wouldn't be one of the women who died alone. But nope. Just the fact that it's so many more of you than the men that are single and live alone really says something. It really says something. You could have got with these men. You could have hooked up with them at bingo, or Frankfurters, or whatever old German people do. Oh, what's that thing they do with the hat and the suspenders at the chocolate factory? I don't know what y'all do for fun. Y'all could have did it though. Y'all could have did it. Okay, let's hear more of her scientific studies.
An actual study, you guys.
An actual study. Yes, it is an actual study in Germany.
So, all of this narration online about if you don't do this, women, you are going to die alone.
What you said did not change that. What you said didn't change that. None of the statistics that you did just to try to prove that men die alone at a higher rate, even if you definitively and completely proven that in places other than this small place in Germany, even if you had more proof and evidence than that, you still haven't proven anything to say that you won't die alone. You haven't said anything to say you won't die alone. Kevin Samuel said to Miss Average at best, you will die alone. None of your statistics, none of the Queen's horses, and none of the Queen's men is going to stop this bitch from dying alone. Nothing. Nothing you have said thus far has made that less true. The truth of the matter is that you are hiding from these women is that if you don't get my sandwich, you will die alone. That is the truth of the matter.
When the studies bear out, the statistics bear out that it is men who die alone.
Once again, if men die alone, does that mean that women don't die alone? I'm telling you, this chick is stupid.
And here's another.
Yes, of course it's a risk factor. Like if you have a heart attack and there's nobody there to, call 911, then yeah.
Thing too, a little fun fact. The very single mothers that they complain about.
Okay.
Are the single mothers who don't die alone. They're dying with their children next to them. Their children holding their hands, their grandchildren surrounded by love and prayers.
And that's what she wants. That is an up to her. If you die, unmarried or unwidowed with your children and grandchildren or something like that, as a single mother, everything is going to be okay. Oh gosh. Now keep in mind, she is trying to sell the concept of swirling. And she's also trying to sell the concept of dying with your bastarded kids. Y'all see how sick this chick is? This chick is a sickness. And you know why? Because of the shiny makeup that she used. I'm telling you, whatever they put in shiny makeup, it goes to the brain. And okay, here's the thing. I know what it is. It's mercury. And classy young man, you know where I'm going with this. It's mercury. You see, back in the olden days, in the old-timey days, they used to have something called a Mad Hatter. Hatter, a person who made hats, was synonymous with being insane. In fact, he's a character on Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter. Mad Hatters were known for being insane. They did not, for quite some time, come with a correlation between the profession of being a hat maker and being batshit crazy. They didn't come with a correlation between the two for quite some time. And then later, science matured. And they determined that it was the mercury that they put in the brim of the hat that drive these dudes crazy over time. Now, mercury is shiny. It shines so brightly. It was used in the Terminator 2 movie because it's a shiny metal like that. It's used in thermometers and things like that. Actually, I think they just use alcohol now in the old timey thermometers because they didn't want like another group of people going crazy. Anyway, the point is that this shiny substance can make a person completely freaking crazy. This chick is putting mercury in her makeup. She is lacing her makeup with mercury and say, look at me. I shine so brightly. And she's getting crazier and crazier and crazier each and every single time she puts makeup on. She's just getting a little bit crazier. And now she's doing this. All right. Shout out to the super chat. The Gold Eagle says, yeah, and men also die on the battlefield in the line. Yeah, exactly. And notice how the study didn't really say how the men died. It just say that they died. It just said that they died. Like, it could have been anything that men die from. But they just went back years later and say, okay, this amount of men are dead. Of what? Well, they did. They're dead and they were single. Yeah. Well, I mean, did he get caught like fucking somebody's wife or something like that and was shot to death? Like what did they die from? Did you take out of the ones who died from external factors and not, medical complications? Like, really? But mortality is mortality. So, the Gold Eagle, I want to invite you to the movie night. Let me look for that link. And once again, the movie is Knock Knock. It requires a donation of a $5 cash app or a $7.15 super chat or greater, of course. And you qualify and fit the bill. So but I'm put the link out there for everybody so y'all can do it last minute if you want. If you wanna. All right. Here we go. Okay, and Sickler said, wow, GC, thanks for the knowledge. Yeah, no problem, brother. No problem at all. But yeah, so that's what it is. That shiny substance in her makeup is turning her insane. Yes, I know. You see, the term dying alone doesn't mean that you will die completely by yourself. I'm pretty sure there's nurses there and the cats are assuring that you're not alone. No, what I'm saying, and what people mean when they say that is you're going to die unmarried and unwidowed. So yeah, that's what that means. All right, here.
Often gospel singing. And they are ushered out of this realm and into the next by the very children that they're being shamed for having. I also find it, this is just an aside, I also find it interesting that the very men.
So are you saying that they should become single mothers? Is that what you're saying? Are you suggesting that these women become single mothers so they won't die alone? So instead of for cats, they have human babies.
Men who are complaining about Black single mothers are the very men who are creating them. Now, remember what I showed you about, you guys, that chart of the false narration that 72% of Black women are single mothers. That's not true. I showed you a graphic.
Okay. No, that's not true. I don't think anyone said anything like that. What they are saying is that 72% of children who are born by Black women are born out of wedlock. So they're not saying 72% of Black women. They're saying 72% of Black mothers, or Black children, rather. So you're proving, you're giving a counter narrative to a narrative that doesn't exist. Okay. I mean, are those your only two options, really? Like, are those the only options that's on the table, Miss Dependent? Like, is there just two doors in your life? Like, door number one, dying alone. Door number two, being with somebody you can't stand. Like, what percentage of the male population can you stand? And why is it that the men you can stand can't stand you? Here, I didn't plan on doing this. I'll put the link out there. For Miss Dependent, here's the link. Ask it. Why is it that the men that you can stand can't stand you? I'm curious about that. And don't think it's a shot. Because most men, I would say, are in a position where the women they are attracted to are not attracted to them. Like they want to be with Rihanna, but they aren't, because the women that they are attracted to aren't attracted to them. So don't think it's shade. But I am curious to hear more about your situation. So. Oh, she's about to throw out some more fake shit. Okay, let's continue.
That indicated that 57% of non-Hispanic Black women have ever had a child. 57%. 46.6% of non-Hispanic Black men have ever had a child. That is a discrepancy of 10.7%.
Oh gosh, I hate it when people just subtract percentages. You do the percent distance formula. I thought you said you know how to use Google.
So the narration that Black women are all having sex with the same dusty men is not true.
That's exactly what you just said. What you just said proves exactly that. It proves that if more men are having, if more women have babies than men, then those women have shared men. That is the only way you can get that outcome. What you just read proves exactly that. Mercury. Like, what in God's name? Like, if you have 55%, or if you have 55 women and 47 men, and all of the men had a kid, and all of the women had a kid with these 47 men, then somebody shared. You are dumb. You are an imbecile. You are lucky your daughter is light-skinned. It'll be okay. Everything is going to be okay because she's light-skinned. Because if she wasn't, she'll be just like you. And she will be 28, believing in the tooth fairy if you didn't tell her last year. But it's okay if she's 28 and believes in the tooth fairy, if she's light-skinned. But you should do better.
True. So you were talking about a 10%, 10.7% discrepancy between the genders of who has ever had children. So the narration that 72% of Black women are having children with the same 15 dusty men is also a lie. And Google can also prove that as well. Okay?
Then please Google it. Please Google it. I would love to see you Google this. Are you gonna Google this? Please, I want you to Google these stats.
So I just really want, again, these are people who swear they are so logical, who swear that they have a firm understanding of statistics. And
nobody is saying that they are so logical. I think that everybody can agree that most everybody is more logical than you. See, you don't have to be an extremely logical person to be more logical than you, Miss Karazin. You don't.
And variables and data and current events, and they know everything. 2021 is the year of clarity in this. So
then Google it. Google what you just said. This can be disproven by Google. Listen. This can be proven by Google. I'm sitting here in front of a computer screen with Google, and I can Google it, but I'm not. But I'm not. I mean, I can, but I'm not. And there's a reason for that. Because it is true. Oh, God, what is this chick talking about? All right, hold on. As women, I think we have to understand that we don't have the upper hand with relationships like we think. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have the upper vagina. That's for certain. You have the upper titties. That's for certain. But you don't have the upper hand. And I think that that's where the confusion come in. So they just walk around with their empty wops thinking that everything is going to be okay. Until their 35th birthday and Kevin Samuels say, average at best.
So, like I said, I don't have a lot of time. I wish I had more time, but I wanted to just do this because I wanted you guys to just put in, it's really magical, this thing called Google, who is more likely to die alone, men or women? I want to just read this one question on Quora. Raven-haired, studied engineering. Why are so many single men who have stopped chasing women thus accepting that they will die alone and childless? In my life, I know several men who accept that they will most likely die alone. In all cases, it's due to their unwillingness to revise their own unrealistic expectations, even if they'll deny it until their last breath. My brother is the perfect example.
Oh, gosh. So now she's going to read a hate letter that provides anecdotal evidence of this chick's brother. But let's listen.
His entire life, he had a very particular in a physical sense, type of woman he wanted to marry. In his mind, love can only come in the form of a petite, slender, early 20s virgin blonde girl. The problem with that is that he had trouble attracting that type of girl when they were his peers and he was in his prime, let alone now that he's pushing 50. He's very overweight and ill. I know another homebound 44-year-old disabled man. I know a homebound 51-year-old disabled man who is also routinely gets obsessed with much younger women he sees online who practice yoga and Pilates, have a large number.
Okay, so that was obviously a shot at Kevin, but is Kevin disabled? Like, is Kevin disabled? I mean, what is he, like 4 years older than you? What's his disability? Well, all right. Let's continue. Oh, and the guy she described was overweight and Kevin's not.
Number of Instagram followers and appear to be very social, outdoorsy, and outgoing. Nothing else will do for a relationship, much less a wife. It doesn't matter if they've never met, they aren't single, or if their lifestyles aren't compatible. He's been unemployed for over 16 years, spend up to 12 hours in front of his computer every day, doesn't work out, doesn't like socializing or going outside. Yet his latest crush is a Pilates instructor who is in a long-term relationship with a man who owns the studio where she teaches and who is relatively well known in her city. When he was 35, I tried to set him up with one of my attractive female friends who was into some of the...
I hate stories like this. Well, I hate stories like, he's fat, ugly, bald, and blah, blah, blah. And my friend is attractive and Pilates instructor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These are just extreme fictions. Like they have like the ridiculous, they basically are saying they're basically, it's just made up bullshit. They're basically saying that they just have this friend who looks like Jason Alexander and lives at home with his parents, and then she tried to introduce him to Carmen Electra or Jessica Alba, and he was like, nah. Oh gosh.
The same computer games he plays. He cut the date short and was furious at me for setting him up with a girl he considered too old at 28. Needless to say, I no longer attempt to play Cupid for men with these issues. I've tried to talk some sense into both these men, but nothing ever seems to stick.
So according to her, a 35-year-old man wasn't interested in a 28-year-old woman because, the one that she defined as attractive, because, he's old. But in reality, let's go back to reality. Look at Primetime VA. Look at all those muscles and shit. Has he been shot down by a woman? This is not a overweight, bald guy. Has he been shot down? Has this brother here with the bald head, suited and booted, been shot down? Where are all of these like fat, bald guys that are being shot or that are shooting down these beauty queens? Oh, what about this one? Has this classy young man been shot down? This is fabricated bullshit.
For more than a few days. And then they're back to their old ways. They both will defend their preferences by saying they deserve that specific type of woman and will get very defensive if I suggest they look for love with other compatible women. Wow, this sounds so familiar.
Well, old man, I don't think he's exactly 51. I know Kevin is because he said it in that video. But yeah, if old man is exactly 51, then she more was going after him. But he's not single, so that still wouldn't make sense.
Does this sound familiar? Because this is what Black women are being accused of. Okay, let's move on. I could go on with several more examples, but the bottom line is that
it's not that anybody's accusing them of it. They're saying it themselves. Miss Average at best is saying that she shoots down guys. It's not an accusation. It's an actual fact.
in most cases that I've observed firsthand, these type of men give up because they realize they will never have their fantasy dream girl, so they would rather throw in the towel than adjust their expectations or preferences. A lot of these men will swear up and down that it's women's fault somehow, but they are only interested in dealing with a very specific type of woman until they fail in their quest for love, when they will proceed to blame all the women on the planet for their failure to form a deep romantic bond. I used to feel sorry for men like these, but after literally years observing them excuse their behaviors while denigrating women who are more similar to themselves, I understand they are in a position of their own doing. I still have to occasionally hear how awful all.
Okay, but he often refers to his lady friend now. I don't know.
Women are because they just can't get the perfect girl of their dreams, but I am not interested in any way. I still hope at some point in their lives they'll at least acknowledge their own hand in their loneliness and maybe change their expectations some. Either way, if they've accepted their situation, as long as they don't act out violently, I'm all too happy to leave them to their own devices. And, here's the
Notice how in this very weird story, these guys, she seems to have like a need to interfere. She seems to have like this strange need to interfere. And, I thought it was some of my business before, but apparently it's not any of my business. So I'm going to not interfere. You should have did that in the first place. Like you should have did that in the first place. All right, so I'm trying to click this video on YouTube, but I don't know if it moved or something. Because Marco's doing a video featuring a pillow fight. I wanted to see it, but yeah, looks like it's gone. All right, let me continue.
The results acceptance. So it says, there isn't many men that way. I know I'll go that way as I go through college and life. Okay, so these are all. Oh, this was an interesting comment. Why would a man seek a partnership with someone he knows has been taught to see him as an enemy? Huh? Holy crap, snap out of it, men. I just read a dozen responses to a question and other questions about men giving up dating. What the F is going on? Get your ass together and get your head back into the game. Uh-oh, here's some advice. Step 1, turn off the porn. Step 2, be the best you can be. Step 3, get outside. Step 4, get out there and mix it up.
Okay, couldn't the women also take this advice? Just saying. And it's also very presumptuous. They're just creating this straw man, this fictitious character that behaves a certain way.
Okay. So there's some advice there. We can go on really quickly. Oh, this one right here.
Yeah, exactly, Golden Eagle. Let's be clear. I am never turning off the porn. That is my motherfucking pleasure. That is my pleasure. And y'all should be happy. Y'all should be happy I keep the porn on. I keeps that motherfucker on. You want to know why? You want to know why I keep porn on? I'm going to tell you. Because I got tired of each and every single woman I've been fucking. After a certain number of fucks, I am imagining something else other than where my penis actually is. I don't care how hot you are. I am imagining something else, and the porn fuels my imagination. It fuels it. I might be doing basic missionary hurry up before we got to go to work with you, but in my brain, I am doing some nasty shit. And porn keeps it going. So be happy, or else I'll be out trying to live the real porn life. Turn off my porn. Bitch!
Here, educated women more likely to die alone. Maybe this is the study that they're looking at. Okay, research. God, all of these ads. Research from TSD sociologist Margit Fine-Devers has revealed that educated women are more likely to be single and less happy than uneducated single counterpoints. They're single counterparts. So does this mean that we should all chuck getting an education? I don't know.
Yes, it does. Penis over degrees. That's exactly what penis over degrees. Once again, penis over degrees. Absolutely.
I wish I had time to read this, but I don't. Living alone, a risk factor for mortality in men, not women. Mortality of men versus women. Who experiences more loneliness, men or women? Okay, let's just go really quickly. This just really quick. Stereotypes of loneliness. Loneliness is learned by life. What is the stereotype match the reality? Loneliness comes results of gender differences. Trying to arrive at this conclusion, researchers find I miss a really close friend. Found the disparity of projections of loneliness for men and women were too fast to be ignored. That state. The present study is blah, blah, blah. The gender differences are not the only finding of interest. The researchers also found that social and environmental circumstances contributed to the development of loneliness later in life.
Yeah, she's only reading what she wants to. I'm not going to go over this whole article either, but she's only reading what she wants to.
Wait, so what was their study? Researchers were primarily interested in people's responses to 3 agree-disagree statements. I miss having a really close friend. I find my circle of friends and acquaintances too limited. There aren't many people I can trust completely. They also tracked participants' gender, age, employment, and marital status, as well as various aspects of their personality. Interestingly, they found that the disparity of the trajectories of loneliness for men and women was too vast to be ignored. The present study is one of the first to provide indication of age trends that are contingent on gender. So I'm skimming because I got to hurry up and go. I have to hurry up and go. But what I think I'm getting, and please clarify if I'm wrong, that it is the men who are experiencing this disparity over women. So basically what I want to say in conclusion, because I got to go.
Yeah. Well, imagine being this chick's husband. Imagine being Crystalline Carrison's husband right now. Like, you want her to stop the crazy, but it's too much money. I think that she's at the point to where if he divorces her, he gets alimony. That's what I'm strongly suspecting, which is, which makes sense and why we never really see Waldo. But she brings on all these other, she's actually bringing on other people's husbands and not hers. I find that very disturbing. Like, she can get like a white filmmaker from Germany in Germany to video conference with her, but you can't, like, you're doing a thing where you're interviewing high value men and you still haven't interviewed your husband. Like, you're looking for high value men that are into Black women with kids. Who better than Waldo? Just saying.
I have a call I gotta do. Google is your friend. It really works. Those people who, who actually want to know, who is more likely to die alone.
Nobody wants to know that but you. You took people saying that you will die alone, and you said who is more likely to die alone. That's you. That's how you perceive the world, as a competition. You see, I'll save this for the end.
Google is your friend. Google is your friend. It is. It really, really, really is. Men who live alone are more likely to die young. Single, married, living alone.
Hold on. Let me bring up this article. Doo-doo. Ooh.
10 ways men and women different. Why do lonely people die younger? Why men die younger than women? Dying alone. Look at all of this. Most likely to die alone. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it. Okay, I'm already 1 minute late. Middle-aged men. Can we just leave with it?
So the same thing happened to, by the way, this article is 2001, but the same thing that happened to her happened to me. It was stuck behind a paywall.
Can you please stop? I don't want this free trial. I just want.
Now, but it is curious because, like, the whole die young thing, like, yeah, if you die before marriage, then you died young. Like a person in the military dying in war, he died young, and because he didn't marry before he died at 19. Yeah.
Why won't they let me read this? Dang it! I don't want to get the Telegraph. Oh, for crying out loud! They're not gonna let me read it. Okay, it's probably best anyway because I gotta go. I just wanted to show you though that Google is really your friend. It is so nice. It's such a great tool. You should try it in 2021. I think it will really help you with these arguments that are easily debunked. I don't understand why these men make these arguments that can easily.
You didn't debunk anything. They're saying that if you behave this way, you will die alone. They're not saying that they won't. They're saying that, you'll die alone, and your response is you'll die too. It's like, yeah, we didn't say that. See, I want y'all to imagine this. I want y'all to imagine a man walking up to a woman and he says, you know, hey, baby, you want to get together sometime? Get to know each other, enjoy each other's company? And she says, oh, no, thank you. He's like, come on, how bad could it be? Do you really want to die alone? And she says, you will too. And he says, I know. That's why I'm trying to fuck you, you stupid bitch. He knows that he's going to die alone. That's why he is getting at you. That's part of the reason why he's trying to put his penis inside you. And you just will tell these women to go die alone, knowing that a man is dying alone too. Gosh, this chick is sick.
Be disproven. Like, why? But what does that? I mean, listen. What does that say about the people who are consuming the content? Are these people gullible? Are they unintelligent? Are they uninformed?
If we were, we would be consuming your content.
Are they uneducated? Are they intellectually lazy? What is it? I don't know what.
Intellectually lazy? Like, didn't she just go through statistics and skip over the good parts? Did she not do just that?
What it is? I don't know what it is. I got a super chat. I'm gonna read a super chat really quick, and then I'm gonna go. Super chat, $15 from Asia Henry. Women are not alone just because they don't have a man. Women are foster meaningful relationships outside of romantic relationships and often surrounded by love. And with that, we will leave.
Okay, so
if you're tired of reading about other people
getting rich in the stock market, she was gone anyway. But other meaningful relationships, that's what the cats are. I'm just saying that those cats are going to eat you when you die. You see, here's the thing about Crystal and Kerosene. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go. Or I'll read some notes and then I'll go. The thing about Crystal and Kerosene is that she wants women to, she doesn't really care what happens to women. She just wants to create scarcity for men. She wants to create a scarcity mindset for men while creating an abundance mindset for women. That's why she wants men to be afraid of dying alone. And she wants women to be comfortable with this. That's why she wants women to swirl, but she shames men for even looking at a light-skinned girl, narrowing his already narrow pool, while at the same time attempting to increase theirs. She wants Black men to remain desperate. That's what she's seeking. That's her goal. That was her goal with this. And the moment somebody says, maybe you should have more reasonable expectations and requirements of men, and you will have one before you die alone, she tries to say you will die alone too. It's okay if you die alone, ladies, as long as they die with you. And she didn't read the parts that showed the ladies are dying alone and the cats will eat them. All right, let's read some post. Let's see. Miss Dependent, I agree. But that's not what I see women complaining about the majority of the time. They hear maybe you can get a 6-figure guy and hear go with Dusty. This is true. This is true. Like there's no middle. So it is weird that a guy that makes $99,900.99 is, or excuse me, yeah, $99,999.99 is Dusty. But if you give that guy a penny, he's high value. Like there's just a high and low for these chick, isn't there? Like the first time he takes a shower is when he gets a raise or a promotion. It is a very weird comparison. And they would die alone before they experience what they consider to be a Dusty. Well, every man has a mutual interest. You have a vagina without a penis in it, and he has a penis without a vagina around it. Like, how much more mutual of an interest is that? Why don't we see YouTube videos of men fighting in the streets over one woman? But we do. We do see YouTube videos of just that. But, you know, have them tell it, and these guys are just turning down supermodels every day. Or they're turning down regular models because they require supermodels. You got to watch from beginning, Rocky. Okay. Okay, I didn't know Obsidian was 51, but makes sense. I'm trying to figure out, let's see, why are they so stuck on salary? Because that's the only value they see in a man. And what people are trying to say is, listen, you know, men have other value besides their salary, and you'll come to realize that value later in life more than you realize it now, is what they're saying. Okay, so he is. Okay, that was a shout out. Okay, so makes sense. And I think he did a video replying to this. Okay, so that was for Obsidian. All right. However, a fat bald head female should have it her way. LOL. Yeah, if she has a nice wig, she should. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they just take these whole believe women stories like at 100% face value. Yeah. No, that's what I was saying when I was like, you know, you don't have the upper hand, but you have the upper pussy. That's what I meant by that. Yeah. They don't look at the entirety. Far too many of them. Okay, she's agreeing. All women deserve the best. Yeah, exactly. The ugly pill. Who knows? The makeup pill, apparently. If I had to choose, I would choose the fit one. Yeah, most guys would. But they want to make it so the guys don't have a choice. And also your personal chunk limit. Ashley Graham is fat, but she is no Tesla. I don't know who these women are. I think men would prefer Ashley over a woman who looks like a man. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay, so that's good. He's doing good for himself. Well, once again, they're just trying to taint the market to their favor. Listen, I'll say this and then I'll go because I could read comments all day. Listen, what she wants to do is, and what all these women really want to do is convince other women to not really search for a man urgently. Once they do that, they have more men available to themselves. And because there are fewer women on the market, these men become more desperate and they can maneuver them. That way, what they hope is that a high value man will get with an average at best woman because no other women are out on the market like that. Like the only way that would happen is if he didn't have other options. But a man like that would always take the better option. Trust me, I know. All right. So with that being said, I would like to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats. I'd like to thank the managers and moderators, those who are listening silently, and those who participated in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out and know that I am doing a movie night tonight at 7 PST. That is 7:30 PST. That is 9:30 Central. And here, let me get the link for you. Give me 1 second. All right, and here's the link to the movie night right there. All right, so make sure you hit that like button on your way out. This is Game Changer 00100. Game over. Peace.